And now we have Angela all the way from Germany. This really is a global movement. Hi, Angela.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Alice. Hi, everybody out there on Facebook watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to be able to join you all the way from Germany. Good to see you, Alice.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I want to let people know just a little bit about you and what you bring to the table for our organization. We are just so blessed to have you be a part. Angela holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in education with a major in migrant child and family development, and is a trained ESOL teacher, foreign language teacher, and Elijah House counselor. She holds a degree in multicultural education with a specialization in family counseling, and is an authorized trust-based relational intervention and trauma-informed care educator. You're amazing, Angela. She works with at-risk children in public school system in Atlanta, Georgia, as a behavior interventionist to help students overcome the effects of abuse and other forms of trauma. She also trains the teachers and administrators in other school districts. She is a passion to rescue children and youth from broken life situations, to restore hope and healing to them so that they can live productive, happy lives. And this is why you are so well suited for our trauma care training program. How long have you been working with us, Angela?
Wow, if I think back, I think it was 15 years ago that I first took a trip to Bolivia, where our flagship orphanage is. And I got to meet the staff, the director, Gladys and Marco there, and all the children, and I just fell in love with the staff, and I've been a part of it ever since. And it's been probably 12 years I was able to join the board and make a difference, and then the last 5 years, we've actually started to actively teach trauma-informed care. It's a very new science. So 15 years ago, when I started, a lot of the knowledge we didn't even have yet, but now we have a lot of information on how our brains develop and how trauma impacts brain development. And I'm just so excited that we are actually doing cutting-edge caretaking in our flagship orphanage in Bolivia, and soon in all of our other orphanages as well.
Yes, so are we. It's such an important piece, and especially in light of what we're doing today with Orphan Sunday and letting them know they're not forgotten. I can imagine that all that has happened with the ripple effects of COVID has affected the homes. What are you hearing? What are you hearing from the homes, from the staff? Oh, looks like she's a little bit frozen.
I don't have super stable internet being in Germany. Can you just briefly repeat your question? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, this is what we get when we sometimes even deal with some of the homes, right? But I just, what are you hearing from the field in light of COVID and everything that's happening? What are you hearing?
I think we all kind of realize how important understanding trauma is, because everybody's traumatized right now. Everybody's watching this, is experiencing some form of trauma, and it's not any different for our orphanages, our staff, and our children right now. Our children are at home 24/7 with the caretaking staff, and that is really the greatest challenge. Just like all you parents out there, probably somewhat exhausted from the constant care, and now also schooling your children from home, the uncertainty of what's going to happen next. Well, this is a reality for a lot of our staff. This is amplified now. And so they are trusting God, they're working hard, they're praising God, but they're also exhausted, and they really need our support. And part of trauma care, the foundation of trauma care really is the relationships that we provide our children to heal. That's really at the core of it. And so it's really our adults who do this tremendous therapeutic healing work. And since they are challenged right now 24/7, it is exhausting, and we are trying to provide everything that we can to support them from a distance. So what we hear is that it's hard and challenging, and trauma care could have not been more relevant right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for everybody.
Right, right. Well, and you know, this has been a great season even for us in our trauma care program, because you've been able to do more Zoom calls to provide some additional support, right?
Yeah, so one positive thing coming out of all of this is that we can't travel anymore. Well, that's not positive, but that we have to find ways to still connect. And so now we've been able, with our flagship orphanage in Bolivia, to improve their internet connection. And we're actually able to do the training, the continuous support and training with our staff online on a weekly basis, which has been really phenomenal because we're able, well, let me back up, because we have to understand that trauma care is not just a 1, 2, 3 thing or a curriculum that we do for an hour a week. It is a lifestyle, and it's a life change for the staff. As we understand how our children's brains develop, we have to give our kids experiences that will alter and heal that brain development.
Right.
So it's really a 24/7 approach of how do I respond to a child in the situation, and how am I calm and demonstrate a certain behavior to my children so they will copy that and model that. And that takes a lot of self-regulation and takes a lot of having peace and calm within. So our staff needs a lot of support. And so we've been able to meet with them, have conversations about specific children, really brainstorm and do interventions. And so what I'm excited about, since it's working so well, that we can now take that model of online training and actually bring it to our other orphanages in other places. So we're looking forward to traveling again, and nothing will ever replace that. And as soon as we can, we will go again on the field.
Right.
But meanwhile, and ongoingly, we can support our staff very closely through Zoom, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit later about some homes in Kenya that we're partnered with. And I know you've already been reaching out to them and getting things set up. So Zoom has really been great for helping us. And you know, as far as talking about self-regulating, I don't know how many of these Facebook watchers are watching right now, like just responding to these difficult behaviors does take a lot of self-regulation, as you call it, or self-control and self-discipline. And I'm sure I've talked to parents who have said, oh my gosh, now I'm trying to homeschool my child and trying to maintain that. Can you imagine doing that with 40 kids? Trying to do that. And again, that's why it's so important that we're here today. We really want to send a message to the staff and the children, but mainly the staff. You know, God has just been breaking my heart on how hard of a season this is for them. And so I'd like you just to share, if you can, share a word of encouragement for the staff. We've got all kinds of Facebook watchers that I know are going to chime in with some hearts and some comments. The homes are watching. And so please share a message with them as we share some love with them.
Absolutely. And while I'm going to say this, I'm also saying this to myself, because we all need encouragement right now. These are really difficult times, you know, the uncertainty of what is going to happen next, the loss of employment and even loved ones. It's just an incredible trauma on all of us. So right now, if you are caring for your children, the staff that's caring for our children, the most important thing to remember is that it is the experiences and the relationships that cause our brains to function at their best potential. So it's not the ABCs they learn, it's not the math, and the connection and the love that we share that brings optimal brain development to your children. So like Alice said in the beginning, I support school staff and children in public schools, really in many different states in the United States. And the main message here is the academic learning has to take a back seat right now. What's more important is for us to buffer the stress for our children and ourselves. And just remember the small things in life, be grateful for what we do have, focus on what we can control instead of what we cannot control, and really have much connected and laughter that we can. So everything you do, every hug, every smile, every moment of fun you bring to your child, that is a moment that will not be forgotten. It gets stored in the brain and it will have a lasting impact. So you feel overwhelmed, just take a breath, put aside the worries, and take a moment to just have a connected, fun moment with your child. That is trauma care, and that will have a lasting impact, and that will buffer the trauma. So that's just what I want to say. It's really that simple, and there's a ton of science behind it that we don't have time to share. But take it from me, it really, that's where the difference is. So thank you so much for all you do. Everything you do has an eternal impact on our children.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing. It's powerful words. It helps us kind of recenter and come back to what's really important in this season. So thank you for that. And you know, guess who's going to join us next? We've got John Sweet. Do you remember John Sweet, who is, yes, he's going to be coming up next. He is the director of Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, as you know, and he and his wife, Joanne, are just a blessed couple. They are powerful and they believe in the trauma care. They're actually doing equine therapy there. So we're going to transition to hear a little bit from him. He has been the director for Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, but he has also directed a boys' home in Tennessee. And he has been the international director for orphanages globally. So he too is well acquainted with the stresses that the caregivers undergo. And so we're gonna roll over to him. Thank you again for joining us all the way from Germany.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for your support and prayers. Everything counts. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.